At the moment, the inquiry has just gone to chaos. It was going quite smoothly. The government had got the NWG to take over. There was committees set up to discuss the scope of the inquiry and around the chairs, but it's just blown up now.
And one of the main reasons is that 4 survivors, victims, however they want to describe themselves, have decided they don't want to take part in it because of, well, some of them don't feel that Jess Phillips, the Minister for Safeguarding, has acted in a way that they're happy with. They also weren't happy with the decision to look at a former police officer, a former social worker, to chair the inquiry. What do you think about that response from those people?
Completely understand and respect their views, and that they have a lot of concerns around the trauma they have suffered over the years, and that this fear is going to be there around professionals, but that we have to have some trust in somebody. And it was proven during the Andy Burnham Assurance Review that Gary Ridgway and Malcolm Newton, who was ex-police officer and ex-social worker, didn't commit any cover-up, and they disclosed information that many people didn't know. And that has led to multiple police operations within Greater Manchester. And that was down to them. And they were, as I said, professionals in that area. So I can understand their fear, but at the same time, there are people who are proving us right that we can trust them.
Do you think this is a case of, and it's all so complicated and it covers Oldham and Rotherham and Rochdale and lots of different places and lots of different experiences of women of different ages as well and different backgrounds. But do you think against that complexity, people are expecting the whole thing to be perfect when it's so complicated and it can only ever be good in some ways, or people trying their best in others?
I think that's the problem. We've never had a national inquiry like this before. We've had the ICTA report, but that was nothing like what we are having now. This is our chance to build something from the ground up, which is survivor-led, where everybody's involved and everybody gets a voice. And we shouldn't be falling apart right now. We should be working together.
You and others have written a letter in support of Jess Phillips. Why have you written in support of Jess Phillips?
Because Jess has only been fair and honest with us. She's told as much as she possibly can within her capacity at the time of when things have been happening. She's provided a lot of support over the phone and in person to a lot of us survivors behind the scenes, which people don't see that of Jess. So I do still want her to be part of this inquiry up until the end.
Because last night on the UK Tonight, we heard from Sammy, who herself is a survivor. We heard from Marlon, whose daughter Scarlett describes herself as a victim, and they both wanted Jess Phillips to resign. They're not happy with how she's gone about things. Can you understand why they feel that way?
I completely understand that they've got fears and problem with people, but when is the time going to come when we've got to bite that bullet and have that trust in somebody? We can't always live in fear.
They also questioned, as we mentioned earlier, who would chair the inquiry. They weren't happy with someone who perhaps previously been a police officer doing that, for example. What are your thoughts on who should be the chair? They did mention, by the way, Sammy mentioned last night, maybe someone from abroad could come and do it. And the only precedent for that is Dame Lowell Goddard, who was a New Zealand judge who came over 10 years ago to chair a child sex abuse inquiry. She eventually quit that, but that was a time when someone from abroad with credibility had come over, at least for a short time, to chair an inquiry. Do you think there's a possibility of someone like that doing it?
I think if they have the background knowledge and capability to understand what we were going through and the complexities around our case, then I'm happy for anybody to be part of it, and anybody to chair it. The problem right now is, what is the scope? Because nobody's understanding what the definition is going to be.
Mm-hmm. I guess the other thing, Samantha, is now the issue itself is toxic just by the very nature of the abuse that you and other survivors went through. It's become toxic because others are pointing to the ethnicity, the background of people, a lot of people, most of the people in the grooming gangs that we know about, and also the toxicity at the moment of the disagreement, the argument. That's going to make it difficult for someone to want to come forward and do it, isn't it?
It is, but the whole point of this process, which the NWG have done, is provide us with anonymity, reassurance, mental health support, and they've kept that up until now. And to reassure other survivors out there that your anonymity will be kept by the professionals that are taking part in this process.
Samantha, let's just finish off by talking a little bit about your own experiences. And of course, we don't have long enough to do any of it justice. I'm fully aware of that. But the important bit about your experience is how you took matters to a large degree into your own hands to seek justice. Does that inform how you are approaching this process? You want to get stuck in, you want to push forward, you want to do what you can to make things better?
Yeah, I want changes within the system, within all the police and the government and the councils. Everything in them areas need to change. We've all been let down by all professionals, but this is where is our landmark, an opportunity now to have the biggest inquiry into CSE as a whole, so then we never have to have one again.
And just finally, Samantha, I mean, what motivates you to do that? Is it the risk that this could still happen to others, or is indeed still happening to others? We just don't know the true scale. Is it a sense of personal justice you're striving for? Is it all of those things?
It's a bit of everything. Obviously, I was a victim of different types of crimes. So for me, I understand from a victim's perspective how they feel given whether you've been groomed or you've been kidnapped or however it is. We're all significant, we all mean equal, and we all deserve to have a voice in this inquiry. And I just want them to feel justice and accountability and feel like they've achieved something